श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः। Jai Shri Mataji, good morning. So we can take our bandhan and bow down to Shri Mataji. So attention on Muladhara Chakra, Shri Ganesha Mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namah. Shri Ganeshji, today we are praise the Shri Vishnu principle. Shri Vishnu took the incarnation in several forms. So please help us remove all the obstacles to awaken the Vishnu principle within us. We put our attention on Navi Chakra. Sri Lakshmi Vishnu. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Lakshmi Vishnu Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namah. Shri Mataji, please awaken Shri Lakshmi and Shri Vishnu principle within us. Give us complete satisfaction, peace. Shri Vishnu, you are incarnate in many times to save the humanity. So please awaken all the incarnation within me. So now we will just putting attention on Navi Chakra. we'll sing the Sri Vishnu Stuti. So attention on Nabi. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanab Suresham Vishwadharam Gagana Sadrusham Meghavarna Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Midhyabhagagagnyam Vande Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokanatham Saksha Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namaha. Shri Vishnu, you appear in the 10 form, in the 10 incarnation. First you appear in the fish form to save the good people on this Bhavsagar. So please help me to get rid of from this Bhavsagar. Then you come in the tortoise form and to help the Manthan, the Samudra Manthana, to come out all the benevolence to the human being, and you help on this process by taking all the burdens of this mountain, which is the part of this Manthana. Then you come on this peak form, it's called Varaha. You save the complete earth on your teeth and save this universe, save this humanity. Then you come in the human form, the first human form in the Vaman. In this incarnation, you kill the ego of this devil, and you can carry out in the 3 feet, 1 feet complete earth, the 2nd feet complete sky, and 3rd feet you put on this Rakshasa Bali and save the humanity and show us your Virat Swarupa. Then in the next incarnation you come in the Narsimha form to save your bhaktas, your devotees. Then you come into the 6th form, is Parshurama. In that form, you show us that you cannot be taking for granted all the negative things. You are in the form of Samvara, the destruction of all the negative people. And you show us the devotion towards the God Almighty. Then in the next incarnation, you come in very soft form in the human being, it's Shri Rama. And teach us how to become a good son, husband, father, and the king. And the next incarnation you come in this Krishna form to show us the play of divine. And the next incarnation you come in the Isa, the Mahavishnu. So the Isa have the 11 destructing power, still have the forgiveness. And the last incarnation, you are in the Kalki to save this all the human being in this Kali Yuga in the Kalki form. So now we'll put our attention on the right heart, Shri Rama. We'll sing the mantra Shri Sita Rama Sakshat. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sita Rama Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, please make me the humble like Shri Rama. Please give me the patience like a Shri Rama. Shri Mataji, make me detached person like a Shri Rama. मनोजव्यमारुतुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजेवानुरितं मुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये. Shri Mataji, make me surrender like Shri Hanumana to your lotus feet. Then we'll put our attention on the Vishuddhi Chakra. We'll say the mantra here, Shri Radha Krishna. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Radha Krishna Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namaha. Here, sing the Sri Krishna Stuti, the praise Sri Krishna. Anadinidanam Vishnum Trailokesham Jagadgurum Shankachakra-Gadabahum Vanamala Virajitam Shri Vatsakam Jagadvetu Shridharam Shripati-haram Yogaya Yogapate Yogi Nashaya Namo Namaha. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namaha. Shri Mataji, please make me sweet spoken like a Shri Krishna. Shri Mataji, please give me the witness power like a Shri Krishna. We will put our attention on the Agya Chakra. Sri Isa Masi Saksha, Sri Mahavishnu Saksha. Om Tvame साक्षात श्री ईसा मसीह, साक्षात श्री महाविष्णु, साक्षात श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी, श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः। Shri Mataji, please give me the power that you give this power to the Jesus Christ of forgiveness. Shri Mataji, please give us the absolute knowledge, the Bodha that you give to the Shri Buddha. Shri Mataji, please remove all the conditioning which leads my life towards to hell. Please remove all this conditioning and awakening the power of Shri Mahavira. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji, Shri Nirmala Deve Namo Namah. Now we'll put our attention on Sahasrara. Just say here the prayer. Mother, please come in my heart. Let me clean my heart so that you are there. Put your feet into my heart. Let your feet be worship in my heart. Let me not be in delusion. Take me away from all the illusion. Keep me in reality. Take away the sheen of superficiality. Let me enjoy your feet in my heart. Let me see your feet in my heart. Amen. Just see Shri Mataji's feet in our heart and listen Shri Mataji's talk about Shri Ram Puja.
Many things happened on the Shira day. The most important was that Sri Rama was coronated as a king on this day. He also killed Ravana on this day. Many may say that how can it be he killed Ravana and he was coronated on the same date. In those days in India, we had supersonic aeroplanes. And is a fact. And the aeroplane's name was Pushpak, meaning the flower. It was called as Pushpak and it has a tremendous speed. So after killing Ravana, he came to Ayodhya with his wife, and that was the day he was crowned. On the 9th day, he worshipped the goddess to get strength, Shakti for his weapons, and the 10th day, he killed Ravana. So you can imagine how much advanced people were there at the time of Sri Rama and his kingdom. The reason was the king was an incarnation. Also, he was a benevolent king as described by Socrates. Sri Rama's story is very interesting throughout, and we have now a beautiful series about him done by our television in India, which is sold for a very good price. Maybe we might be able to present you all with one when you come there. But the story of Rama, they say, was written before he was born. Even before there was any inkling of it, the seer Valmiki wrote the whole story of Sri Rama. Sri Rama's birth and all that are brought forth by the Agni, the fire. And he was born in the dynasty of the Surya, is the sun. So with all that, born out of the blessings of the Agni, that is fire, and also was born in the dynasty of Surya. He was one of the mildest avatars you have ever had. He is known to be a very English language, formal person, in the sense, Sankoch, that he would go to any extent to bear upon himself the problems than to tell others to do something. We still had many people in India like that. Like we had one Prime Minister, Lal Bahadur Shastri. And if he was sitting in the room and there were people sitting and the electricity was on somehow, say by light or something, and he wants to put it off, he would not ask anyone to put it off. Slowly he'll get up from his seat, walk up to the switch and just put it off, so that he shouldn't ask for it. This is one of the greatest quality of Sri Rama, that he would not make anyone do anything for him or order anything or would use someone for their purpose. See, he was the blessing of fire and born in the Surya. But what we find, those people who are born maybe in very lowly families, in the negative families, the left-sided as you can call it, with all kinds of problems, have a terrible agya and a terrible Surya. The person who is born in the Surya has to be extremely humble. He is the one who shows that nothing can affect, nothing can make him feel that he is something great. when we see his life further, he was a very humble man. We've seen now people who try to despise others. I don't like you. I don't like. It's not good. It's very difficult. It's a sign that such a person is extremely low in character. Has no character at all, but is low in character. Anybody who has any character is shown by the tolerance he has of other people. Intolerance is a sign of a person who is extremely egoistical and is vain, this vanity. Shri Rama was so much loved by the people where he ruled in that state, and he had the most beautiful wife of the most venerated father Janaka, and who was the beloved son of his father. But he was such an humble man, that in all his character you see the beauty. Like he was going by a little boat when he went for his exile. And the one who was taking him was an ordinary boatman. And the boatman was feeling very much upset that he's sitting before the king of Ayodhya and he doesn't have proper clothes. So Shri Rama, who was himself, was wearing nothing but valkalas, are the clothes which are worn by the village people or worn by the people who live in the primitive areas, only kind of leaves that they have. He had to wear that because his mother, the stepmother, asked for that kind of a boon from the father. And then Sri Rama just told him, "Why are you worried? I'm wearing this, I'm no more a king. I'm sitting before you like this. You should be quite comforted. And I really don't know how to steer the boat, while you know how to steer the boat. So why should you be worried?" Like that, he kept even the people who we would call as low in society at a very high pedestal. Which shows that he respected human beings. He himself is called as Maryada Purushottama. Means he was the one who knew how far to go with someone, Maryada. How to talk to someone, how to approach someone. While we find people who misbehave, even with their husbands, with their wives, with their children, with everyone, and also outside, they are about to jump on us. That's absolutely against Rama. It's like Ravana. Even Ravana was not like this. He was also of not that nature. Because he had certain dharmas within him. He was a realized soul, but he had become a Rakshasa because he became arrogant. But even his arrogance cannot be matched with many modern people and modern girls and men that I hear and see, that it is surprising they have really surpassed Ravana. Ravana only had 10 heads, but sometimes I feel that the modern men might have, or the women especially, might have 108 heads. The arrogance, the amount of expression of hatred is so ridiculous and makes a person look so useless. But I see such people very common, and in Sahaja Yoga also they crawl somehow. Actually, such people are absolutely despised by God Almighty. You go further with his life. See, he went and into the village where a very old woman who was belonging belonging to the primitive class of beings, had very few teeth, and she brought some fruits, little fruits we call as paid. And she brought and gave it to him that, Sri Ram, you see, I've got these, I don't have anything else. And these, I've tested all of them. Actually in India, if you put in the mouth, it is uttishtam. Nobody will touch it. But she says, I've tested all of them by piercing my teeth into it, and I've seen that none of them are sour. Shri Rama didn't like sour fruits, she knew. So none of them are sour, and you can have them. I mean, in a way, if it is done to somebody in the West, they will hit you hard. Immediately, Sri Rama rushed forward and took the beads from her hand, kissed her hands, said, all right, I'm going to have them. With such enthusiasm, he ate them. So Lakshmana was a little angry at that lady. What's this going on? So Sitaji said, oh, do you like them very much? She said, yes, but I'm not going to give you anything. She said, no, I am your half body, you have to give me. So he gave some to Sitaji. So Sitaji ate, what a thing, it's like nectar of heaven I'm eating. So Lakshmana felt very jealous. He said, sister-in-law, can I not have a little of it? He said, no, I can't give you. You ask your brother. I'm not going to give you, I have a very little share. Why don't you ask your brother? So he goes to his brother. He said, can I have some more? So Sri Rama smiled and gave him that bead, which was eaten or touched or was pierced by the teeth of a primitive woman who is actually an outcast according to the Brahminic laws of India. The sweetness of Sri Rama, the way he used to make people feel comfortable. Like I would say, an example of a oyster who gets a little stone into the body of the shell, takes out a kind of a shiny liquid and covers it with that shiny liquid and makes it into a pearl to be comfortable. Now, he didn't want his own comfort. Rama is a little bit different. That he wanted to make everyone into a diamond or a pearl so that the other person would shine and would look nice. And that's how he felt comforted. His qualities, if you have to imbibe, first of all, we have to understand the innate situation of Sri Rama. Sri Rama is placed on the right hand side of your heart. Right hand side, right heart. He is placed there. Now, in a human being, there is no right heart. If you tell somebody there's right heart, they say, what? There are 2 hearts or 3 hearts? In our Sahaja Yoga, we have 3 hearts. One is the left, another is the right, and one is the center. Now, the right heart is a very important thing. The right heart looks after the whole lungs, both the lungs, all the throat, the trachea, the nose, the inner part. The outer side is looked after. We can say the features are given by Shri Krishna. But the inner part of it is all done by Sri Rama. They are the same. But one acts as the inner part, the another as the outer part. It gives you the ears. From the inner part, Sri Rama does, he gives you the eyes in the inner part of the eyes. Now, it's so important to have the inner side all right and the outer side. Is an example of Sri Rama. He never cared for the outer side or the outward looks of a person. Because he came before Sri Krishna, he tried to build up the inner side of a human being. So we can say, though he is on the right heart, he acts through your Hamsa Chakra and partly through your Vishuddhi Chakra in the inner side. Because Sri Krishna, in the inner side of it, is Sri Rama, is Sri Vishnu. So, when somebody is, say, not good looking according to the Western standards, according to me, the Western standards are rather funny. Because Western standards don't look like neither like Krishna or Sri Rama. The person like Sri Rama was a very healthy, tall person with his hands up to the knees. Ajanuba is the one who has Ajanuba. And he was plump. Both of them were plump. They had to be plump people because they were, though they were born of the Agni, he was born of the Agni, but the water is the main element of Sri Vishnu. So they were all plump people. They were not thin like sticks as today's modern ideas are, to be thin like sticks and like TB patients. But it doesn't mean all plump people are good. We always logically think that plump people are, if mother says so, then plump people are good. It's not the inner side of it, I'm saying. The inner side of it is just the opposite. Inner side of it is absolutely beautiful and absolutely full of love, affection and warmth. A person who doesn't have these things is a sign of a person who is not a surgeon, first of all. A person who is very loud, talks loudly, speaks loudly, laughs at wrong places, must be half mad, but cannot be a surgeon. See, the softness of Sri Rama goes to the extremes where I call the Sankocha the formality, the formal. But it is in English language, formal is not the word, Sankoch. He was once, when he was fighting Ravana, he was taking out with his arrow his 10 heads one after another. And if he took out one, then took out the second, the first one would come back. So because he had a kind of a blessing that nobody can kill him by hitting him on his head. So Lakshmana says, you know for definite that this Ravana cannot be killed by hitting on his head. So why don't you hit him in his heart? So he said the reason is this, that just now in his heart is Mahalakshmi, the Sita. Sita is sitting in his heart. And how can I hit him on his heart? Because she's there, she might be hurt. So what's the use of hitting on the head, he said. He said, because once I start hitting him on the head fast, his attention will go there. As soon as his attention will go into his head, then I can hit him on his heart. See the Sankoch. See the Sankoch, the way he talked. Now we have, see now what's wrong with you? Why are you all the time smiling and like that? Why can't you keep quiet?
So we'll put our attention on top of the head and our right heart, and we will listen Shri Ram Raksha Stotra. Just attention on right heart and Sahasrara.
Shri Rama Raksha Stotram Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Om Asya Shri Rama Raksha Stotra Mantrasya Buddha Kaushika Rushihi Shri Sita Ramachandro Devata Anushtup Chandah Sita Shakti Shriman Hanuman Kilakam Shri Ramachandra Prityarthe राम रक्षा स्तोत्र जपे विनियोगः ध्यायेदाजानुबाहुं धृतशरधनुषं बद्धपद्मासनस्थं पीतं वासोवसानं नवकमलदलस्पर्धिनेत्रं प्रसन्नं वामाङ्कारूढसीता मुखकमलमिलल्लोचनं नीरदाभम् नानालङ्कारदीप्तं दधतमुर्जटामण्डलं रामचन्द्रं चरितं रघुनाथस्य शतकोटिप्रविस्तरम् एकैकमक्षरं पुंसां महापातकनाशनं ध्यात्वा नीलोत्पलश्यामं रामं राजीवलोचनं जानकी लक्ष्मणोपेतं जटामुकुटमण्डितं सासितूर्णधनुर्बाणपाणिं नक्तञ्चरान्तकं स्वलीलया जगत्त्रातुमाविर्भूतमजं विभुं राम रक्षां पठेत् प्राज्ञः पापघ्नीं सर्वकामदां शिरो मे राघवः पातु भालं दशरथात्मजः कौसल्येयो दृशौ पातु विश्वामित्रप्रियः श्रुति घ्राणं पातु मखत्राता मुखं सौमित्रिवत्सलः जिह्वां विद्यानिधिं पातु कण्ठं भरतवन्दितः स्कन्धौ दिव्यायुधः पातु भुजौ भग्नेशकार्मुकः करौ सीतापतिः पातु हृदयं जामदग्न्यजित् मध्यं पातु खरध्वंसी नाभिं जाम्बवदाश्रयः सुग्रीवेशः कटी पातु सक्थिनी हनुमत्प्रभुः ऊरू रघूत्तमः पातु रक्षः कुलविनाशकृत् जानुनी सेतुकृत् पातु जङ्घे दशमुखान्तकः पादौ विभीषणश्रीदः पातु रामोऽखिलं वपुः एतां रामबलोपेतां रक्षां यः सुकृती पठेत् सचिरायुः सुखी पुत्री विजयी विनयी भवेत् पातालभूतलव्योमचारिणश्छद्मचारिणः न द्रष्टुमपि शक्तास्ते रक्षितं रामनामभिः रामेति रामभद्रेति रामचन्द्रेति वा स्मरन् नरो न लिप्यते पापैर्भुक्तिं मुक्तिं च विन्दति जगज्जैत्रैकमन्त्रेण रामनाम्नाभिरक्षितं यः कण्ठे धारयेत् तस्य करस्थाः सर्वसिद्धयः वज्रपञ्जरनामेदं यो रामकवचं स्मरेत् अव्याहताज्ञः सर्वत्र लभते जयमङ्गलम् आदिष्टवान्यथा स्वप्ने राम रक्षामि मां हरः तथा लिखितवान् प्रातः प्रबुद्धो बुधकौशिकः आरामः कल्पवृक्षाणां विरामः सकलापदाम् अभिरामस्त्रिलोकानां रामः श्रीमान् चिरकृष्णाजिनाम्बरौ फलमूलाशिनौ दान्तौ तापसौ ब्रह्मचारिणौ पुत्रौ दशरथस्यैतौ भ्रातरौ रामलक्ष्मणौ शरण्यौ सर्वसत्त्वानां श्रेष्ठौ सर्वधनुष्मतां रक्षः कुलनिहन्तारौ त्रायेतां नो रघूत्तमौ आत्तसज्जधनुषा विषुस्पृशा वक्षयाशु गनिषङ्गसङ्गिनौ रक्षणाय मम रामलक्ष्मणावग्रतः पथि सदैव गच्छताम् सन्नद्धः कवची खड्गी चापबाणधरो युवा गच्छन्मनोरथान्नश्च रामः पातु स लक्ष्मणः रामो दाशरथिः शूरो लक्ष्मणानुचरो बली काकुत्स्थः पुरुषः पूर्णः कौसल्येयो रघूत्तमः वेदान्तवेद्यो यज्ञेशः पुराणपुरुषोत्तमः जानकीवल्लभः श्रीमान् प्रमेयपराक्रमः इत्येतानि जपेन्नित्यं मद्भक्तश्रद्धयान्वितः अश्वमेधाधिकं पुण्यं सम्प्राप्नोति न संशयः रामं दूर्वादलश्यामं पद्माक्षं पीतवाससं स्तुवन्ति नामभिर्दिव्यैर्न ते संसारिणो नराः रामं लक्ष्मणपूर्वजं रघुवरं सीतापतिं सुन्दरं काकुत्स्थं करुणार्णवं गुणनिधिं विप्रप्रियं धार्मिकं राजेन्द्रं सत्यसन्धं दशरथतनयं श्यामलं शान्तमूर्तिं वन्दे लोकाभिरामं रघुकुलतिलकं राघवं रावणारिं रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः श्रीराम राम रघुनन्दन राम राम श्रीराम राम भरताग्रज राम राम श्रीराम राम रणकर्कश राम राम श्रीराम राम शरणं भव राम राम श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणौ मनसा स्मरामि श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणौ वचसा गृह्णामि श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणौ शिरसा नमामि श्रीरामचन्द्र चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता रामो मत्पिता रामचन्द्रः स्वामी रामो मत्सखा रामचन्द्रः सर्वस्वं मे रामचन्द्रो दयालुर्नान्यं जाने नैव जाने न जाने दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे च जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम् लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरन्तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम् आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां निशाचरचमू रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं रामे चित्तलयः सदा भवतु मे भो राम मामुद्धर राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं रामनाम वरानने इति श्रीबुधकौशिकमुनिविरचितं श्रीरामरक्षास्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम् साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो नमः.
So now we'll put our attention on Sahasrara. Just say 3 times Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Nama. We can put our attention the left channel, right channel and center channel. Om Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Om Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Om Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namah. Thank you, Shri Mataji. To give us the blessing of Shri Vishnu, Shri Rama. Jai Shri Mataji. Kundalini and Bandha and bow down to Shri Mataji. So thank you very much for joining. Jai Shri Mataji. Good morning. Good morning ahead. Thank you.